Welcome to What a Time to Be Alive, the only podcast counting down everything this week that made you say, what a time to be alive. And now, Patrick Monahan, Kath Barbadoro, and Eli Uden.
Folks, welcome to What a Time to Be Alive, the only podcast that counts down things each week and makes you say a thing. That's the title of the podcast. I'm Patrick Monahan.
I'm Kath Barbadoro.
I'm Eli Uden.
Hi.
Coming to you live.
Were you laughing at my little dance?
Kath was going off.
I saw you laughing.
I looked up and she was going off. I was doing my Ray Lewis before the Super Bowl, headphones in, eyes closed, getting ready to say the thing, and then and I look up and Kath is going off over there.
That was a more energetic dance during the theme song than I normally do. We're starting a little early today, so I was like trying to pump myself up, get some energy, you know.
I was looking wistfully out my window to get excited. At a day that is
beautiful day.
That's a great pump up. That's a great pump up activity. Looking wistfully, that always energizes.
Puts me in a very thoughtful space in order to comment on the happenings of the week. Yeah. That's the song. That's the song that does not play like during this part of the year, though, because as Patty just mentioned, it is like almost starting to get dark. It feels like at the crack of fucking noon.
This song has been muted. This song is like they're playing like the slowed down movie trailer version of this song. Right,
the horror movie version.
Man,
a little kid is whistling it. A haunted little kid.
There's a new one. Like
this is right for what's outside.
We need to have a conversation culturally about the slowed down like movie like ominous songs because there's one where it's Take on Me. No, like one of the new trailers for something is the Aha song Take on Me, but they take out all the fun.
Yeah.
But it's like unless that song plays like a big role in the show, or the game, or which I doubt.
Like Us can do it. Like the Us 5 on it, like you can. That's fine. You can have that, but. Just if it's not in the movie or something.
Trailer music. I don't know. Like you don't have to pick. Like it's not just like you don't have to have like a brainstorming meeting. What song can we slow down? I don't know. Whatever. It's
sort of like the music version of like a gritty reboot. Like where it's like see the dark underbelly of Take on Me, and it's like no, that's a pop song. You're not like bringing a new dimension to it by slowing it down.
Do the lyrics at least fit, Eli? You know the game.
I haven't played it, but that song is apparently pretty important in the second game.
Okay, so it has a connection. So then I'll retract for that. But
I regret to inform.
Really? Yeah,
I regret to inform you, but I must salve the sore nerves of the gamers listening.
What's the game?
I did carve that out when I initially said it, unless it has some kind of connection. So it has a connection. So I'll shut up. But. It
is an example of like there are a lot of those.
Oh yeah, it's way too many. I mean, Hurt was like the fact that they used.
But Hurt's already sad. Like that doesn't bother me because it's not like it was like a fast pop song.
This one was good. The one Shelby's playing right now was good for Social Network. The Norwegian
Children's
Girls Choir or whatever it was for Creep to play for Social Network. That was good.
But you're also like a Social Network stan, Patty. I feel like you fucking love that movie.
It's one of the best movies of the last like 20 years. I mean,
that would qualify as being a big fan.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen it, but
I gotta rewatch it because I saw it when it came out and everyone went nuts about it and has continued to go nuts about it since then. And I didn't like it very much, so I gotta try it again. Shelby agrees with me.
Yeah, I don't like the guy. I don't like pretty much anything he's in.
Which guy?
I can't even remember his name. That's how positively I think of him. Yeah, Eisenberg, right?
I like him. I'm like the one person who liked his Lex Luthor. I'm like the single person.
Yeah, you're the only person. That's true.
Yeah. It's fine.
Isn't his Lex Luthor based on Zuckerberg too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's like a good. I don't know. I think that's like a good energy to bring to a superhero villain.
I thought it was also at least partially based on a director's son of note.
Yes, it is. That is actually, that is correct. It's based on
who is like the Joker.
Are you not
in
saying
real
it
life.
On purpose?
Yeah, I don't know. I because I don't know if it's actually true or not.
Allegedly,
I heard he had a fake girlfriend on a wrestling forum.
Oh, exactly.
What podcast I might have heard that on, but
Okay, you make fun of me for bringing that up every time Lax Mandis, we're not saying his name, comes up, that I bring up the fact that he pretended to be his own girlfriend on a wrestling forum for several years. But every time I bring it up, people like tag me on Twitter and they were like, I had no idea about this. So I'm just raising awareness of the fact.
You're fucking joking.
It's totally normal to do that. I don't know what you're talking about. It's fine.
It's also just like, it's a fun internet wormhole to go down because I don't know if it's still the case, but for a very long time you could read all the posts. Like you can find the evidence. It is still out there.
That's the one fucking forum BB that didn't go down.
Yeah.
It's like, why is this one still here?
It's just, I don't know. I that is very special to me that happened. It's like feels like a wonderful gift to me. But yeah, I forgot that Lex Luthor is based on him.
Because like that's like he was like the Joker in real life, like going around LA, like being like socially like uncomfortable in that way. So
getting
apparently.
Scars, famous for getting these scars.
I feel like the Joker did like worse stuff than just being uncomfortable socially.
No, right. But
He also did a lot of good stuff, guys. I don't know if you think about
people need to go easy on the Joker, okay? Sure, he killed an entire talk show audience with the Venom or whatever, but
you got to think about why he blew up the hospital, okay? And it's because money is bullshit, okay? And,
but like setting aside the crime, like how annoying would it be to hang out with that guy, right? So extrapolate that, I guess, is the way to.
The original always-on comedian, the Joker.
The Joker.
He ruined all those paintings, too.
He did. He ruined all those paintings.
Joker versus whatever those eco-terrorist guys are.
Yeah,
match up
right.
for the ages.
Do you think that was
awful.
the inspiration for the Joker as a comedian who's always on? Because that is like probably the closest, media representation of that type of person. Comedian who's always on.
Well, a comedian who's always on is a real sicko mode. So that's a dangerous person. So that definitely fits.
That is someone who is capable of anything.
Like goes home and is finally alone and just like stares at the wall expressionless after being on for 14 hours.
No, they go home and they edit all their clips into TikToks.
Okay, that's
what
true.
they're doing at home.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
But they're doing it totally expressionless.
And they do it by joint tagging comedy clubs that I follow, so I have to watch them ask somebody what their job is or whatever on Instagram, and I like that.
It's good. It's good when it cuts off right after the question, pretty much. It's more of just a really brief interview. God bless you.
You bringing up comedy clubs, people joint tagging comedy clubs on Instagram is me bringing up Max Landis's girlfriend on a forum.
Really stuck in my craw.
When you started out, who are your guys? Like, who are the guys you hung out with?
We all have our bugaboos. A word that I had to look up this week and isn't racist. That sounds like it is.
It does sound like it is. That's a good. That's fair.
It's even cooler. It's from I tweeted about it and then I deleted it because it wasn't really for anybody. I just needed to put it out in the world. It's like an old Welsh word. Bug was like a goblin. So you'd be like, bug.
Oh, that's cool. Well, goblin.
That is cool to know.
Around.
Is that does our bug come from that Welsh word or no?
I don't
like. Are they? From
I don't
the
think
same
I went
root?
deep enough down the rabbit hole, but I think they may have been somewhat related. Just like this nasty little thing.
Speaking of stuff we learned this week, before we get into numbers, do you want to tell us about Captain Crunch?
I would love
Eli
to
has
tell
something
you
to share.
about Captain Crunch.
Eli has something to share with the class.
It's one of two things that I've realized.
He asked to give a
week.
presentation.
Hello,
Sharks. I have a slideshow. Hello, Sharks. May I introduce you to the cereal Captain Crunch? Because I learned this week, and it was a little too long and rabbit holey to like bust out in a regular conversation. But for podcasts, I learned a couple of fascinating
we
things.
said, should we talk about this on the bonus? And Eli was like, no, I'll bring it up.
Yeah. Well, we always have our 10 minutes up top, I figure. So I was looking up, and the first thing I found out that is fascinating to me is that the guy who created Captain Crunch, who like came up with him in the story, that guy, he made Captain Crunch, and then he went on to make the Mary Tyler Moore Show and win like 1 billion Emmys. Like the creator of Mary Tyler Moore invented Captain Crunch when he worked at like an animation studio.
This is like the Hudsucker Proxy or something. This guy is unbelievable.
Yeah, but what I found more interesting is Captain Crunch's backstory. For example, here's one thing you might not know. Captain Crunch is Native American.
Huh. Okay.
This is the official bio that this, and I guess it makes sense too, because once you realize he later goes on to write like like one of the most iconic sitcoms. It's like, okay, this guy fleshes out his characters.
There's lore, yeah.
Yeah. Captain Crunch's origin is that his father, a Viking navigator named Sven Crunch, was marooned in the New World in New England, where he fell in love with and married a Native American woman named Gidget Running Star, and they together gave birth to Horatio Magellan Crunch.
So is Captain Crunch
Captain Crunch?
Is he like a myth? Is he like 500 years old?
The timeline is unclear, but
he's a mythic, immortal.
Yeah, he's like Pennywise
demigod
from It.
Yeah, because if you're a Viking navigator, it feels like there's a couple more generations. But
my father was in the circus.
Yeah. So then,
you can't be like a Viking navigator who gets lost in like 1920. Like, you've navigated.
Yeah.
That's not, and also you're not a Viking anymore. You know.
Yeah.
You're just like a guy from Iceland who's a ship captain.
Yeah. And
Leif Erikson Crunch.
Exactly. And then his origin as a captain or a seafarer is because the American schools were limited in their curriculum at the time, so they sent him to England to be schooled. And then while he was on his voyage to England for school, he was kidnapped by a band of pirates. And the band of pirates then taught Horatio Magellan Crunch to become a sailor, therefore becoming Native American icon, Captain Crunch. Or so it would be, except that these fucking cowards over at General Mills or whoever fucking makes Captain Crunch in 1965, they were like, nah, that's confusing and we don't like it. So his new story is he was born on Crunch Island. Like they were like, fuck all that. He was born on Crunch Island. It's a cereal island in a sea of milk. Okay. Good to go.
He's
not
crunchless.
With that. Yeah.
Crunchies.
Yeah. So there you go. There you know. There you know. That's my new catchphrase. There you know.
Man, we need to talk about how like people could just invent a wide range of things like that. Just like cereal and then Mary Tyler Moore. Sigourney Weaver's dad is credited with inventing both the Today Show and the Tonight Show, which is just such a funny, just like, okay, here it is. People are talking and it's called Today Show. And then people are talking Tonight Show. Huh? And then he, So.
And then like multiple generations of his family who don't have to work because he came up with that.
Just such an amazing, because it was so early in the format that you could just be like, huh?
Yep.
Like, I'm the first one to think of that thing. That seems so, and
right.
Not taking any credit away, but just like the field was wide open in those days. So
well, that was
good for him.
You used to be able to acquire like severe generational wealth by just turning a well-known game into a game show. You'd just be like, Pictionary, and then they'd be like, your family is set for the rest of your life. Like your great grandchild is going to be an A-list celebrity because you were like, what if we played checkers on television? And that just set you up forever.
Your great grandchild will be able to escape any number of hit and runs on Los Angeles freeways.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Without any kind of
Thank you for this amazing idea. Multiple generations of your family will be model/DJs. Congrats.
My great-grandfather invented lingo, and that's why I live in a mansion. So,
Lingo's a good game, though.
Yeah, Chuck Woolery probably doesn't still host it because he went crazy, but guy's got a big chin, I tell you what.
That's right.
That got you far in the old days, too. You
That's
got a big-ass chin.
You got a big lantern jaw. You're all right.
Ready to go. Immediate Hollywood ticket. Punch.
Back in 2 and 2.
Yeah.
That's what he used to say.
What? Yeah, is Chuck Woolery, like, he's like a Q guy, right? Or is he not that far?
Well, I think he's just kind of followed the trends. But he was like a Teacot guy on Twitter. He was like a prominent.
The Teacots. I remember the Teacots.
And he's since just sort of drifted, I think, along with the way that the general sentiment has gone. But I don't think he's like fully conspiracy, anything like that. I think he's just, well, maybe not. I don't know.
I found that. I feel like I was late to the party, but I found that weird Australian guy that's like truly seems like a parody account. But it's the strangest man.
Who?
Nick Adams.
He has
Is he the alpha male
guy?
Oh yeah. I think that's not real. Or I at least think he's being tongue in cheek.
Yes. Well, he's doing it because everyone calls him a pig and says he sucks and whatever, and then he gets more attention. Like he's like he's like Freddy Krueger. If people didn't quote tweet him to say he looks like a giant baby, or whatever, despite thinking he's like alpha at Hooters or whatever, he would just wither and die. You know what I mean? Like it's truly, and you can't control what people do. I don't find the shtick particularly funny. But people seem to, so it's working, I guess. It does seem like
I don't know. Pound for pound, Jesus Christ was the original alpha male. It's like just a really wonderful statement. Really, really enjoy.
Doesn't do it for me.
I feel like you can buy a T-shirt that says that in Chinatown.
Probably.
I saw one. I was walking in Chinatown yesterday, and I saw one. Like, obviously, those shirts are insane. Like, we've talked about it. The like novelty shirt, but I saw like the most aggressive one I have ever seen, and I was like, I'm just baffled by it. It was hanging up. Maybe it was hanging up as like an article of amusement and not to.
Cass finally found the Man the Legend T-shirt. Finally seen it.
It was Coca-Cola, but it said "Enjoy my" and then "cock" in huge letters, huge Coca-Cola letters. "Enjoy my cock," and then on the bottom it said, "It's the real thing." Like, that's just like so aggressive. I don't know. I'd never seen one that intense before.
Seems like the shirt of someone who stuck a dildo down their pants for sure. It's the real thing assertion at the end. It's like,
you're protesting too much. It's the My Human Trafficking shirt or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm stuck in like middle school mode for shirts, just because like the idea of having like a swear on your shirt is like, whoa, like it's so like same with like a bumper sticker or whatever. It's like so aggressive to me. I don't know. I just can't.
I agree, but like especially cock, like that word is so like bracing. It's
right,
like,
any kind of sex swear, yeah.
Exactly. It's like being like ice bucket challenged or something. It's like someone. It's just like, I don't know. It's very intense to just like see that word out in the wild. That's not. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
I don't think I have that total block on T-shirts, but I definitely am still aware of like children and stuff. Like when somebody's wearing a big shirt, it's like fuck. It's like,
I have a shirt
man.
with that is moderately pornographic that I wear sometimes, that I sometimes forget I'm wearing it and realize like, oh, this actually is like not for.
What is the shirt?
It's a shirt. It's a shirt. I've posted a picture of it before.
We're talking about shirts.
It's an illustration, but it's like this Japanese guy who did all of these illustrations of like basically like big lady like femdom bondage stuff. So it's like it's a picture of it's a drawing, and it's a picture of a lady with a big butt like sitting on a guy. And I think it's cool and funny, but like I can't just like wear that out in the world.
Oh,
that's like a very specific,
like that R. Crumb thing where the lady is sitting on the guy's neck on the subway.
See, that's not an R. Crumb thing. That's this illustrator.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah.
I thought it was.
Stolen Valor.
I think it's. Let me see. What's his name? Sorry. Oh, okay.
I mean,
his name is Namio Harukawa, and it's like in that exact style of the lady sitting on the guy's neck on the subway, which is like, I think, a funny and cool shirt, but not one that I can wear during daylight hours.
Not to daycare, not when you're doing your shifts at the daycare.
Shirt for after dark.
Yeah, an 80s shirt.
I mean, the thing about that Coca-Cola shirt you described too is that like to the extent there is anyone you'd want to see in that shirt, it's never going to be who's wearing it. Like, you're never going to see somebody where it's like, oh, great.
Who do you want to see in that shirt?
That's why I said it that
Johnny
way.
Sins?
Yeah. I don't know. I personally don't want to see anybody in that shirt, but I'm saying if there's a dude you theoretically would want to see in the shirt, that's never who's going to be wearing the shirt, if that makes sense.
There is simply no dude I would want to see.
Okay, good. Well, I would agree.
All right, then we can move on.
I'm trying to find the illustration on this shirt to send to you guys, but now I'm just getting distracted in this like world of huge butts that is my Google image search now.
Yeah, enjoy the algorithm. Yeah. No,
Look him up. If you like big butts sitting on tiny men, Namio Harukawa. Check him out.
It's the natural progression of the guy from Wacky Races, like the little droopy voiced guy, and the huge mean wife. It's the sexy version of that.
It kind of is that. Like
femdom icon like Andy Capp.
Okay.
Yeah. they get freaky in the bedroom with a picture of those Wacky Races.
I'll post a picture of the shirt on my Twitter. It's because I really do like it. I want to raise awareness of this cool shirt that I have that I can't wear. Anyway, should we do numbers?
Let's do it.
Number 5.
Number 5. This one comes to us from Ebenezer Scrussy in the Discord. The holiday season is upon us. A Christmas bussy, he yells out the window after his big change. This
transformation.
Yeah, this story comes from. I really enjoy any news story or thing about twins because I feel like we understand twins, but I feel like everybody is kind of pretending to think it's more normal than they do. Like I feel like it's. Still
I feel like this is a youth thing. I gotta say, I feel like this has come up a lot of times when we've talked about twins.
I guess
you have like a natural suspicion of them.
A natural. Like. Well, that sounds very judgmental. I would have a natural curiosity.
You just bring it up a lot that you're like, why are we all acting like twins are normal?
And twins.
I think there's
Shelby's right, and twins.
Yeah.
And twins.
I think there's a natural curiosity. I think they should be investigated. Okay, is that so strong? I'm kidding.
I've talked about how
Congress needs to act.
I dated an identical twin for a while, which was like that was kind of weird. I didn't meet the other one, but it like knowing there was another one out there.
Are you sure you never met the other one?
The other one lived in a different city. I actually
seems awfully convenient.
I think one or both of them might listen, but I will not dox them. But one of them lived in a different city, and or that maybe that's just what I was told.
Yeah, it was weird, and they kept having this temporary tattoo that they'd sometimes put on and sometimes not. Weird guy. Anyway, they drained my bank account. It was a mutual decoupling.
It's just like strange that there was like a whole other one out there. I
feel like it would have been less strange. Language and all that stuff, right?
I feel like it would have been less strange if I had met the other one. But the fact that it was just like, maybe I'm just going to encounter this person who's exactly like the guy I'm dating somewhere. Like that's weird. I don't know.
So you would say that it is a little strange, their habits. And So yeah, I mean, I think it is helped along by the fact that like there's so many times when like this will come up in the story, but every time they like test stuff with twins, I feel like the results are like against science, where they're like there's like yes, they share thoughts, and it's like that should also be a bigger deal if you're like yeah, twins have a little bit of ESP, and it's like, can we figure this out? Anyways, that's kind of at the center of this.
The craziest thing about twins to me is that
and twins.
The craziest thing about twins to me is that if they both have kids, their kids will be genetically half siblings instead of cousins. Yeah, I think that's really weird.
They can never date. What a sad story for twins.
As opposed to cousins, who it's totally fine if they date and no
legal.
one thinks it's weird.
It's legal.
Look, you gotta populate the earth somehow if it comes down to it. Also, if the two twins
birth rates are down, we must let cousins.
This is going to be the new like Matt Walsh thing or something. Like, yeah, the birth rates are down. People got to start.
I don't think it's
cousins.
That weird. Yeah, exactly. That's where we're headed now.
But if the two twins kids did produce then they would just remake the original twin. I'm saying these things, science must investigate.
I don't think that's how it works.
I think it's. I did a Punnett Square earlier. That's how it works. So,
science must investigate. Eli must not investigate.
Doing a lot of Punnett Squares.
Eli has been barred from investigating.
I have a restraining order against all twins, and I'm fine with it.
Make it mutual. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's these two
twins.
Yeah. This week we have 4 numbers and twins. So these twins, they were both in medical school together, which is like classic.
That's also that's weird.
Yeah.
I don't want mad scientist.
Well, that's
twins.
just unusual because like med schools are like it's like hard to get in. Like it's like a whole thing. Like
but they're exactly as smart as each other. So
well, we already have one of those.
Weird?
So sorry, you're second alphabetically, so you're out of here. We already have one.
Yeah. So they went to the same medical school, and they got in trouble because at their end of year exams, they turned in their tests, and the tests were so similar that it raised rung the plagiarism bell, or not plagiarism, cheating bell, or whatever. And so they did a thing. There were 307 questions, 296 of them they'd answered identically, including 54 identical wrong answers, which is like always that's how you get caught, Yeah. You're like, you got this wrong when you shouldn't have. So.
But to your argument, they're exactly as smart as each other.
That's true. You laugh now, but let me finish the story. So yeah, they called him in and they're like, we think you cheated off of each other, which, as I'll say, based on media, is also something that twins are also known for hijinks and cheat. Like, based on movies, they're always cheating off of each other in tests. So I think that's...
You heard it here, folks. Yeah. Eli thinks twins are inherently untrustworthy.
Based on movies, blame their portrayal in various trap-based movies.
Look, if your twin looks like Jeremy Irons, if a twin, you can't trust those twins. That's dangerous.
Yeah. Fraternal twins, you're off the hook. You figured it out. Whatever. So
we should send Eli to that twin convention and see how he fares.
Not well.
Thank you. Yeah. That must be a confusing fucking convention. Can you imagine, dude? Like, you're already meeting all these new people, and then half of them look the same as half of the other people.
If you switch your name tags, even as a joke, you will be expelled from the convention.
Yeah. We don't do that here. We don't do that to each other. Okay, we only do that to other people.
Right.
It's a violation of twin code, twin law. So
with this cheating accusation, it's not like this is like, is it they take the test in the same room? You know what I mean? Is it obviously the assumption is they could have looked at each other's paper or something, or were communicating in some way. Like the test was, you know what I mean? Like
they were using their special little language.
Yeah. Okay.
Was it like a take-home exam, or do we not know?
It doesn't say what, where it was taken or when it was taken. I feel like for those sort of end of year grad school, aren't those usually big kind of administered things where I could imagine them being in the same room?
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends.
It's also the other thing about it is being the same amount of smart is one thing, I guess, whatever that means. But there is material that you study that this is about, right? So it is unusual that they got the same exact questions, I
think they cheated. I was just saying that to be funny.
Yeah.
I think they for sure cheated.
Well, here's hidden in the middle of the story that I missed over before. This is another thing. That also they are part of this story is that they sued this place for
right. Let's be clear that this is Cass's opinion. And,
allegedly, these
based on the facts. We might have to cut that part out. I think this is literally about them winning a bunch of money in a defamation lawsuit.
I did not read this story before we started. Shit. No,
but also this is part of the story. I say, okay, so they say the two sat next to each other and appeared to be quote nodding unusually and writing notes that looked like attempts to communicate with each other in the margins of their scratch paper. So that plus the amount of wrong answers that they both got the same. And so they were like, we think you cheated. And they I don't know if they expelled them, but and I think because of the unusual nature of it, it became a story. honestly, maybe we covered it a couple years ago. Who knows? And so then they sued over it. They said like not only should our tests not have been thrown out, but you have like defamed us. We're trying to become doctors now. There's like stories about us cheating on tests, doing this. I think it's safe to say that it is very suspicious. Like I can't get mad at the school for. It would be bad also if the school let them was just like probably twin stuff. Like they do need to look at this.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope that a place training people to become doctors is like pretty rigorous about cheating.
Yeah,
you gotta know things to do that job.
So then they kind of like through all this, they did talk to, I guess, twin experts or scientists who have done studies on twins, and they got them to say, like a psychology professor testified that their similar scores could be explained by their genetic profiles, and so she says like and this is kind of research shows identical twins are more alike in IQ scores and specific mental strengths and weaknesses than other people, and basically said like it's not that unusual that they got a lot of the same stuff wrong. This still sounds so strange to me. Anyways, the jury
decided.
Jury decided. I feel like to me the jury decision here would be like, I don't know if you can even do that, but it would be like, look, you can like pass the test or whatever, but we're not like giving you, because they won $1.5 million. They each got $750,000.
Well, they basically effectively got run out of school, and you know, they had to change their whole career path. So
demonstrate like loss of income and stuff from that. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean they're lawyers now, which is way worse than being a doctor. So you know that's real damages. In my opinion.
Yeah,
twin lawyers.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess it's just like, but it is, you know, against like with my whole thing and all that. It's very funny that their testimony was just somebody who studies twins being like, twins actually are really weird. So this is kind of could have just happened.
Because I'm just thinking about this with like, I was thinking about this when I was home for Thanksgiving, and like where like my family, like I haven't lived with or near my family since I was 18. Like I moved out and moved very far away for college, and then lived in Texas, and then like this is as close as I've lived to my family, and I still don't see them very often. And every time I go to like my brother's house or my parents' house, I notice that like we have all independently bought the same laundry detergent, or like the same, like there's just like things where it's like, oh, you also made that exact same choice as me. Like I feel like there is, I don't know, maybe like there is like some genetic, I mean, obviously we all grew up in the same household, so there's like that sort of implicit conditioning too. But I don't know, I just feel like there is this like implicit power to like genetic relation that makes you think the same way in a way that is like kind of spooky when you see it evidenced and not just like under a microscope or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like the I mean, it also like the same values. I mean, as far as like laundry detergent, I definitely prefer, when I started live by my own, do my own laundry, like I definitely preferred like brands that I had remembered my parents using, just because.
But this is the thing; it was not the laundry detergent we used when I lived there. Like we had all bought a different one, like all the same.
Catherine's about to get flown to the CIA for extensive testing. She'll be at a black site for the next few years.
No, like we used
breaking news. Everyone on the show does laundry.
Yeah, we're relatable, everybody.
We're relatable. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know, just like things like that. Like we've all, it's not like things I remember from my childhood. It's like new stuff. Like we've all made the same preference, which like I guess just shows that like advertising has gotten very specific. But I don't know. I just think there is this like tendency that like your brain is similar to the brains that produced it and are related to it in a way that like makes you feel like free will does not exist. It's creepy. I don't know. That's all I'm saying.
This is the beginning of a spiral that we're teetering on.
No, I don't know. I just
you're like, we have no free will. We are on a track to death. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say because, like, I don't know if this would even apply as an adopted only child.
Right, you don't have people that you're genetically related to.
I mean,
so
I
maybe
do.
that's why you maybe
There's
that's
somewhere. I wasn't made in a
life.
lab, but I'm not a one of one special edition. But I mean, I guess we all are in our own little way. Or each a snowflake.
Maybe that's why you're freaked out by twins. They're just like, this is creepy to me. Mm-hmm. I don't want these people, these blood relations around. It's fucked up.
Yeah, I'm just
not to psychoanalyze you.
I'm like Chuck E. Cheese, who apparently is an orphan. More fun information I discovered. By
this
lore,
MF
canonically,
probably has a twin somewhere.
Yeah,
don't
you might
even
be a
suggest
twin.
that.
Oh my
Maybe
goodness.
I'm resentful because of some sort of.
That's the guy Hathaway sees on the dating apps.
Yeah, I mean that would
The
really
fake
hurt.
Eli.
It would really hurt to find out that you were given up for adoption in favor of an identical twin. Like you, that's
They kept the other one. Like you weren't both put up for adoption.
Bad. Yeah. Yeah, but so
that would be brutal. Yeah.
Yeah, as far as these twins, they did win the case. I mean, I guess the most likely explanation here is they probably studied together, and that's why they knew the same shit and got the same shit wrong. But I don't know. The school really fucked up. God, man, I was like, it's funny because I feel like if you had to, if they had this thing where like we just got sued for $1.5 million, we want to like, and then the process, I feel like it's completely defensible. It's like, dude, they sat next to each other and doing weird shit, and then they got the same answers. Like, I don't know what the correct thing to do there was, but embarrassing at least. That was what this always. I remember it was like just such a classic fuck up. In like a creative writing class I had in college, there was a football player in it, and he wrote like a really good story, and the teacher was just like, you stole this. And then it turned out he didn't, and they got fired. And it was just like, that was not a smart decision.
I mean,
and
was like, that's something that like there's no like metric to determine. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't believe that you wrote this. And it's like, well, that's not good enough to make an accusation. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
It was something that they definitely should not have done. Especially, I think it was because like, he was always really tired in class. And I was like, yeah, it's probably from his Division I football practices. But yeah, that was a big oopsie.
I refuse to believe you have a secret talent that you have allowed to bloom like a beautiful rose. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
And nurtured in my class has caused this to come out. Like, it's also just like, turning down any role that you had in nurturing this thing or whatever. Yeah. It's very funny. There's no way that I inspired you like this.
I am not a good enough teacher to produce this work.
Yeah.
That's wild. Poor guy.
But to these twins, I don't know what kind of weird shit you're gonna buy with $1.5 million. Identical water slides or whatever the fuck.
A big bed to sleep in together with their partners.
Yeah.
Well, they can afford it.
Good for them.
Folks, if you like the regular episode, check out the bonus episode by subscribing at patreon.com/whatatimepod. This week, we spend a little time talking about our favorite running story of Timothy on Brian Jordan Alvarez's TikTok. It is an unnerving story about a man who is in over his head, which is shaped like an egg.
Prayers up for Timothy. We also talk about some troubling news about cephalopods. They are very smart. More confirmation that they are extremely smart. It's troubling.
Also, it's Grinch week. Explanation in bonus. Actually not.
Explanation forthcoming.
Check it out.
Number 4.
Before you do number 4, I do want to say I've been getting a lot of ads for big beds lately on the internet.
It's because
like,
they're like,
bigger
hey, we
than
noticed your T-shirt. Or do you want to get someone's neck sat on? We think this big bed might be perfect for setting this up.
It's like bigger than like an Alaskan king, or like they're like bigger than a California king, and they fit like, I think they're for like orgies. It's orgies or like Mormons. No, they're huge. They're like 20 feet by 20 feet. They're like a bed. They're like a room that's a bed.
Yeah.
Morgies. Ormans. Yeah, whatever. Orgmans. It's fine.
Alaskan. I just typed in Alaska, and the first thing was an Alaskan king bed. It was the first thing that Google suggested.
Really? Not the crab?
Not the crab.
I mean, it might be influenced by
More people are looking for the bed than the crab.
An Alaskan king bed is 108 inches by 108 inches.
Okay,
that's the shack bed.
Square. Yeah, shack
It's
bed.
the shack. It's 9 feet by 9 feet.
Well, no, the shack bed is a circle and it has the Superman logo on it. Never mind. But
There's an Alaskan king, a Wyoming king.
What the fuck are these names? I don't even understand why California king is called that. But
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
Wyoming.
What
is this like Paul Bunyan shit? What is going on here?
It's Paul Bunyan shit.
Yeah, it's
Paul Bunyan is Wisconsin, not Wyoming.
It's the Tila Tequila bed from her dating show.
There we go.
oh man, Tila Tequila.
Deep pull, Tila Tequila.
They also have a giant frying pan to skate around and make flapjacks with big pats of butter on your feet. That's also something they do famously in Wyoming.
Let me do this story. This story is from Dream Animal in the Discord. If you would like to submit stories, you can join our Patreon at the $10 a month level. Patreon.com/whatatimepod. And get access to our private Discord channel where you can submit stories like this one. I don't know how much there is to say here. It's just kind of funny. We talked about the last one for a long time, so this one might be briefer. Some guys in New Delhi, India, some doctors, specific type of guys, doctors, were doing some research on parasitic worms, and they released a report showing that these parasitic worms like to boogie. They like to dance. They do something called a filarial dance sign, and they put some guys took a sample from some guy's scrotum, and these worms were fucking dancing around in it.
Yeah,
so
I think it's important to know
worms
that these
are dancing in your
worms.
scrotum if you got if you got this parasite. Yeah, they are ball worms. That is important.
So this guy went in, this 26-year-old man with his history of scrotal pain, went in and they ultrasounded his balls, and they were like, we have good news and bad news.
That's a tough history.
The bad news is you have
History
parasitic
of scrotal
worms.
pain.
Yeah. The bad news is you have parasitic worms in your scrotum. The good news is they're having a blast.
They're loving
like-
it.
Hey,
They
love
are
it in
loving
there.
your scrotum.
These guys are doing like a little jitterbug down there. Anyway, time for some antibiotics to kill them.
Yeah, like it's
like the fucking club in the Matrix down there in his balls.
It's like Zion in the
Yeah.
Matrix. It's just a huge rave. I mean, I think it's very funny. Like that they're in there and they dance. I mean, I assume as a parasite, it's pretty hard. Like once you make it into somebody's balls, like you did
That's
it.
the hallowed ground. That's the promised land.
Yeah. So they're celebrating with little. It feels like like one of those old like '60s animated PSAs you get shown in like a public school health class. It's like, here are the parasitic worms in your scrotum, and they're just like they look like the DNA from Jurassic Park, and they're dancing in there.
It does seem like it'd be a good place because it's like, I feel like when you're infected with something, a fever tries to kill whatever you're infected with. But your balls are like, the reason they're outside your body is because the stuff in them can't get that hot. So like
The stuff in them.
I'm trying to. I've already like said cock
The pee.
like so many times.
The pee
I talked
that's
about my
stored in there
face sitting
can't get too
shirt.
hot. Yeah.
Yeah, the pee that's stored in there. I just feel like I've been very graphic this episode. But yeah, so it's protecting the pee that's held in there. So if you have a fever or something, those worms are still gonna be bugging.
Yeah,
They're gonna be fine.
Honestly, it's kind of great design by them, by the parasites, being like,
Yeah.
this is the one place you can't kill us. I mean, it's like,
What are you
like
gonna do?
hiding.
Punch us?
Yeah, exactly. You hide in here. It's like, what are you gonna do now?
Sorry, more bad news. The only way to kill these parasitic worms is by punching them. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we gotta
We
get
must
a big.
hit you in the balls repeatedly.
Yeah, we gotta get a big buff woman to kick you right here. Oh no!
And then that guy will draw it, and I will buy a shirt of it.
Then you'd better get a bunch of creeps coming to the hospital and be like, I've got the worms again. Bring out the lady, please. I need another kick.
Shout out to that. I think that guy is gone. There used to be a guy on Twitter who would DM women about how much he wanted us to kick him in the balls, but I haven't heard from him in a while. So I don't know. Maybe he's moved on to other women. But
bye.
But like many women I know have been. This guy was prolific. Yeah, he was. It was like a full-time job. It was wild.
Getting kicked in the balls is what it.
I'm gonna come.
Well,
I mean, I don't think getting kicked in the balls was a full-time job, but like asking women to do. I think that was the thing that he liked.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
if he liked, if the part that he liked was just getting kicked in the balls, he could like pay someone to do that. But I think he liked asking and being turned down. I think that was what he was into.
Could also just be, you're gonna get a lot of no's. Just asking somebody to come over and kick you in the balls.
It's a numbers game.
Just a numbers game. Yeah, find somebody who's willing to do it.
If that's what he wanted to do, like you can pay someone to do that. It doesn't have to be something you devote hours of your life to, It
has to be someone he admires. That's his thing. It can't just be a random person.
I need it to be a woman I respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are complicated mental walls happening here. I need to be kicked by someone I find fascinating in the balls. I'm sure somebody must have taken him up on it, but
I don't think so. I'm not like I'm not going out of my way for that. Like,
if you could do it in a public place like a Starbucks, like it's Craigslist.
I'm not like getting on the train to do it. If I meet somebody somewhere and they're like, I would really like you to kick me in the balls, like maybe. But I don't want to do that so much that I'm like taking time out of my schedule.
Yeah. It was actually Johnny Knoxville the whole time. They're just like, that was actually, Kathy messed up. That was the audition for the new Jackass. They're like, but
I would get on a plane to kick Johnny Knoxville in the balls.
Oh yeah.
Meeting in the parking lot of a police station to kick a stranger in the balls.
Yeah, and also I'm selling a dresser. Two things. First of all, I have a dresser that I'm looking to get rid of. Second of all, would you mind absolutely pulping my balls in the parking lot of a police station? Maybe that's part of it too.
I'm like, sorry, I'm still reading about these worms, and I don't know.
Who up reading about the worm?
I don't have balls, but I'm pretty disappointed that there's a parasite that can live in your balls. Like, I don't like knowing this.
Oh, I mean, there's all sorts of nasty things. Parasites have learned that they've learned our
why
weak
that's
points.
where they go. Yeah, I'm interested.
I think temperature.
Just temperature?
Right?
Yeah, I think they can't be fevered out. And then, I mean, there's that fish that swims up your hole.
I knew about that.
Yeah. There's not a lot of great stuff that goes on.
The thing is, though, like, the thing that's upsetting to me about the parasites is, like, you just have them and you walk around with them. You don't, like, walk around with a fish in your hole, You get that removed. This guy had, like, you said history of scrotal pain. Like,
1 month history. So that's what they call it.
That's a while.
Yeah.
That's too long.
And swelling. So he had big old balls full of worms.
Well, he then did get some drugs to kill them. He's taking an antiparasitic drug. So yeah, their party is coming to an end. I hope they're treating it like, the last days of disco, just really enjoying themselves.
His balls were like Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas. Just big, full of bugs. Unfortunate. Got those Oogie Boogie balls.
Well.
Number 3.
No.
Number 3 comes to us from Ebenezer Scrussy in the Discord, and it's about the world of film, specifically the Fabelmans, which is Steven Spielberg's, I don't know, I guess like thesis statement about his life that he made into a movie, which is like a crazy thing to be able to make about yourself, I feel like. It's largely considered to be like autobiographical. Obviously, the names are changed, but a lot of this stuff seems to have happened to him in his life, and it's
Steven Spielberg, as he's called in the movie.
That's right. So it's a good movie, and a big portion of it takes place when he's in high school, and he has a hard time in high school. His family moves from Arizona to California, and kind of like I don't know, like Northern California, not like near Hollywood or anything like that. And he's, kind of a nerd, kind of gets picked on. Some of it's because he's Jewish. Some of it's because these people just seem to be kind of standard high school bullies from the,
get a life, Jews.
Mid-century.
That's actually a clip from that movie.
Yeah, it's weird. One of the bullies has like
get
a little kid's
voice.
Jews. So anyway, that's sort of the backdrop of this. And I guess I'm going to give credit to the New York Post here because I guess they're the ones that went and found people that were in his high school class.
Their hatred of Steven Spielberg inspired them to do some real reporting.
Yeah.
And that's impressive.
I guess, but it's like, how real is this stuff? And, they said.
Which is also weird to do about a movie that is not purporting to be nonfiction. Like, he's not really saying that it's real. Right?
Right.
It's a fictional movie.
Correct. I mean, everyone knows that it's like about his life and he's told some of these stories before and all that kind of stuff and his family situation.
But it's not like he's claiming that this is factual.
Right. No, it's a movie about, but it's like a roman à clef, you know what I mean? It's like that that kind of thing. So they asked some people kind of, hey, what do you remember? Did you see the movie? Or maybe they just told him about the movie or something like that. But he did have some bullies, and some of it may have been anti-Semitic, so that part appears to be true. He had a great sense of humor, which is true in the movie, and that was sort of his way of dealing with that kind of stuff. Let's see. There was a bully who, there is like a part where he gets punched in the nose, and he has a bloody nose. I guess another one of his classmates who went on to become a jazz DJ later in life remembers the bloody nose.
Jazz DJ.
There are some great ex-classmates, including this guy named Phil Pennypacker. Sunday Comics ass name.
Yeah.
And he's a judge, that guy.
Judge Pennypacker.
But which is pretty good. So
Judge Pennypacker is who you go to like where like the solution is like the sentence is like you have to bake your neighbor a pie to say sorry.
He's a judge. This is a judge in Busy Town.
Yeah, and
yes, exactly.
Also, Pennypacker sort of sounds like an anti-Semitic slur, so it really all comes full circle.
A little bit. That's
I can see it.
So yeah, these people are all in their 70s, so this is like over 50 years ago. These memories. So, but they do remember a lot of the stuff from the movie. The guy who was one of the bullies. He took 5 years to get through high school, so he was older than the rest of the class, according to one of these people. And that bully is dead. So R.I.P. Bozo to that guy.
Bye.
Steven Spielberg. Yeah, exactly.
Get him out of here.
Hope he's enjoying the movie Looking Up from Hell. There were only a few people in the class that were Jewish. I guess, it seems like he's the only one, or at least rare. They don't say he's the only one in the movie, but it's treated like it's kind of an exotic or weird thing.
I was going to say, I'm kind of surprised there were even a few. Like, I guess I don't know where he lived, but...
It's in Saratoga, California, which I had not heard of, but it's it's up, up in Silicon Valley, basically.
Okay.
But back then, and his dad was an engineer and worked for like IBM and other companies, so that makes sense. They would be living around there. Anyhow, the one thing that is definitely true, he did, take pictures at football games. He did film the cut day, which is like a big sequence in the movie. And there's also, he like makes a movie out of it, and everybody's like, he plays the movie, and it happens a few times in the thing, but like people are kind of in awe of this person's talent, basically, which is, it's a very cool sequence. And there's a really great scene following that with him and one of the bullies. But anyway, so that stuff's all in it. But the thing that the New York Post focused on, and I guess that's that's about what you would think, is that in the movie he gets a super Christian girlfriend who is like really hot for Jesus, and I guess thinks he kind of look like not just is super religious, but is like thinks Jesus is like hot, like has Jesus on her wall, like those like old.
Yeah.
He's pretty ripped.
And Jesus is pretty hot.
And so she like, I don't know, I guess between the fact that he's like kind of forbidden fruit, and also because he's
he looks like
Jewish,
Jesus.
she's like super into him, and they do like actually date. It's not just like a weird like I don't know, fetish thing or something. But nobody from that they interviewed remembered a girlfriend. So that's something that the New York Post takes that, and the headline says "No girlfriend." Spielberg's classmates reveal fictions in Fabelmans, which I don't think is a fair extrapolation of what they're saying.
It's so
99% of it is accurate.
The amount of effort that the New York Post went through to be like, Steven Spielberg did not have a girlfand in high school.
Yeah.
He was alone.
Yeah. Hey, when you were kicking him and calling him Jew boy, was he by himself or doing an investigation? I also like
that having people like go on record there being an article about how you didn't have a girlfriend in high school is like, he's Steven Spielberg.
Determined that was a lie.
He's Steven Spielberg. His life seems pretty good. I'm sure it doesn't bother him that much, but that would be crushing to me. If someone published an article about how the lack of dates I had in high school, I would be like pretty sad. That would bum me out.
Also, it's like probably the most likely thing to be injected into a movie to give it additional plot is like, I put in a romance plot because that's how movies work, not because I'm trying to rewrite my fucking history, dude.
Right.
Like, I also like this quote from a classmate who seems to have just independently worked out this story of the Jews in general, where he's like, people covered their mouths and coughed Jew boy as Steve walked by. I commented that he should ignore it, but humor was the only way to survive, which sounds like something you would say at a Seder. Like that is, it's like, that's our whole thing,
That's
dude.
kind of the entire, the main thing about it.
It's like, that's where vaudeville came from. You might be surprised to hear the comments in here on this story on the New York Post are absolutely disgusting.
Oh, no.
Setting aside the,
are there any that are even funny? Or are they just horrifying?
Well, I like these people that are, like, my brother was in the same graduating class and remembered him solely as a normal, quiet guy without all the controversy he, quote, remembers. Sometimes when we are younger, we perceive larger than they actually were. Ahem. I mean, I want to say, this movie is not a movie where it's 2 hours of him getting bullied. It's literally like a 15-minute sequence. You know what I mean? It does not loom large in the movie in the sense
maybe my brother's memory of this guy's experience is more accurate than his own.
Right.
Like, what are you talking about?
Thank you, New York Post commenter, misdemeanor,
And then also everybody in this story being specifically like, yes, a guy did punch him and break his nose. It's like, they did, against all odds, they have actually done some research here that you are fully ignoring. So,
and these people why do people think their life is worth a movie or a biography? I don't know, man. It's Steven Spielberg. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yours isn't.
Yours definitely isn't. Whoever you are.
The scene where you're
taking a
commenting
break
on the
from
New York...
getting mad at Kathy Hochul to interview Spielberg's classmates.
Right. I'm sick of. Here we go. I'm sick of everyone. This is a commenter. You're so woke. You're sleep. Which I'm so sick of.
All
everyone,
one word.
No, 2 words and a comma. Not 2 words, like a sentence with a comma.
A sentence. Yeah.
I'm so sick of everyone playing the victim. As a minority, it sounds like I had it worse than Spielberg. Here we go. But I chose not to get bogged down by stupid comments kids make. It doesn't define who I am. Sick of crybabies. Okay, Steven Spielberg went on to become like a billionaire, like one of the greatest filmmakers short list of all time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's really bogged down by this.
Yeah, professional victim, Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. That reply to this comment got his ass. Sounds like you are still a victim, but now you become a martyr and a bit of a bully yourself. The anger in your comment speaks more than your words. So,
got him.
Got his ass. Anyway, surprise, New York Post comments are loathsome.
Yeah, there's a comment in bold and italics, because I guess this person felt very strongly that it is so in support of Jews, weirdly, but so horrific on other levels that I
don't know how you like get bold and italics. I didn't realize they had format. I thought it was just
if you're a VIP on the New York Post comment section.
Blue. You have New York Post Blue. You can do that. Also, there's
anyway, people are just like, I'm so glad I don't have to watch this movie now. It's like, it's a good movie, asshole. Like, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? Like, I get that you think he's one of the part of the cabal or whatever, but like, it's a good movie, and family friendly and all that kind of stuff. So you should love this kind of shit. But
I also
whatever.
really like this.
What's the comment?
What, the really bad one?
I thought you were saying you were going to say the.
No, I said I'm not going to say it because it's a
really bad one.
Yeah. There is another one that's like, I just love the blissful ignorance of this guy who's just like, Jews have always been nice to me. I don't know why everyone's so mad at them. It's kind of a historical thing, really.
Got to get that out. Got to make sure you get that in somewhere.
Yeah, the rumors aren't like that we're mean. It's like a blood libel thing. It's like it's sort of a different kind of goat here. But
that's a very like sweet form of ignorance, though. It's just like, I don't know. Yeah. All the Jewish people I know are pretty cool.
Yeah, what are these guys? What's this? What are these guys' problems? What is going on? Just relax.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So I don't know. Just because like the 4 people they found don't remember him having a girlfriend, I don't think that means he didn't have a girlfriend. Unlike the New York Post, I don't think you have to provide documentary evidence of things that happened in your life to be able to put it in the movie.
Steven Spielberg did not fuck.
Loser.
Loser. Big time
famous
loser.
Dry dick Steven Spielberg. Exactly. Got no bitches. The New York Post report.
It's a great movie. I really enjoyed it. Every performance is very good. The child actors in particular are really great, which is especially the high school age, which is I don't know, sometimes it can stick out. And there's a couple people that are in smaller parts that apparently are like they're in their first or second thing, which is crazy that they're as good as they are. But they did have a pretty good director telling them how to do it. So I would say check it out. But yeah, I guess if it's too much for you to know that there's not anyone who corroborates the girlfriend evidence, then maybe steer away.
Number 2.
Speaking of important art that's been created, this story, this comes to us from Iguana Helium Cube in the Discord. It is a historical, a piece of art that's great historical significance. Scientists believe that it is an 11,000-year-old. They think it's the first ever, or the oldest known depiction of an actual narrative scene in art. And in the middle of it is a carving of a dude holding his dick.
How does that factor into the narrative?
Well, we can try to extrapolate from the art. So what this is there's a big wall, and then there's 2 leopards surrounding a guy who is holding his penis. So I believe the story they're trying to tell is that this guy got attacked while he was holding his penis. A bit of an educational tale. Hey, don't go out into leopard country and walk around holding your penis. That makes them very mad. So
this is 11,000 years old.
Yeah, people been holding they worm for a long time.
Maybe he was
stay
peeing.
holding they worm.
He might have been peeing.
Oh,
we all assumed jacking it, but I think being caught unawares while you're peeing by a pack of leopards
not great.
Probably more likely.
That does seem like a good warning. Don't go like full Santa. I would love to see one of the SantaCon guys pissing getting attacked by a leopard. That would be cool.
I mean, there's 2 different scenarios here. One is he sees the leopards and decides, all right, time to see if we can get one last round off here. Basically,
crank one out. A final crank.
Like it's like if in Jurassic Park when instead of saying clever girl, he just frantically starts going for his zipper and is like, right before he gets attacked. Or he was peeing and the leopards found him and got him. Those seem like the only 2 possible explanations for this.
Well, I feel like that is so high risk, high reward to like try to get one final crank before you die, because it's like if you succeed, you get one final crank before you die. You fail, you die. And people find your body, and your dick is out, and you're like the jacking off guy in Pompeii.
You're the Pompeii guy.
Trade
right.
proposal.
You're the Pompeii guy.
Trade proposal. You get cranking off. I get leopards kill you, and you're immortalized. Yeah. It would be great if that guy, the cranking off guy in Pompeii, had a ghost that was just trying to explain to people that he wasn't cranking off, because it was just like. Wasn't it like Jesus? Like it was from him being burned alive,
right? Like his muscles contracted because of the extreme heat. It's like he absolutely wasn't jacking off, or at least they're like pretty sure he was not. jacking off.
It's like no, it's because of how painful my death was. I wasn't cranking off.
Painful, and now millennia later, humiliating as well. Great. Just what I want.
Yeah. What I especially like about this this work is that most of the stuff in it, so there's also to the left there's a bull attacking somebody else who is not holding the worm.
Okay.
Is that like most of it is just kind of, like surface level carving, but the guy holding his dick is fully 3D sticking out of the wall.
Yeah, everything else is just outlines, and the guy holding his dick has been carved, like emerging from the stone.
Yeah, maybe everything was a work in progress, and the guy only ever finished the guy holding his dick, and then was killed by leopards. Maybe
he got attacked by leopards. Yeah,
yeah. So yeah,
he saw the leopard circling and was like, "I need to finish this relief carving."
Yeah. But they also think that it does have like a real significance in that they're saying that this is supposed to indicate when the population was transitioning into like agrarian lifestyle. So I guess they were like, they had more time to crank off now, so they had to explain the dangers of holding your worm and being defenseless. So yeah, they think that this was is this the right one? They're talking about a few different structures. They think it was a place for special communal gatherings, which feels like everybody's probably just trying to not mention the fact that the most prominent feature of this art is a guy fucking holding his dick. But yeah, they think it's very important. New Patreon goal: you pay for us to fly to the dick sculpture and worship at it. Worship the original hog.
I would. It's in Turkey. I want to go to Turkey.
Yeah. So yeah, they got guy, 2 leopards staring directly into. Also, that's kind of the unsettling part about it is like, I think there's also a kind of stereotypical image of like ancient paintings and art where it's like there's not really as much like people looking directly at you. I feel like, at least in my mind, of like a lot of the stuff that's shown. This guy is staring directly at whoever's looking and holding his dick. This is also pointed straight out into your soul.
This is a funny quote about this based on what it is. Somebody said, this was a picture of the stories that formed the ideology of the people of that period.
Yeah.
So like, what is the ideology of this? What is the...
This may be the first known Jim face also, now that I think about it. Since he's looking at the camera.
He's like, well, it's a living, and then he gets eaten by
one of the Flintstones animals that just jerks off in their house and serves no purpose.
What is that? Yeah, what does that help with? What modern appliance does this somehow replace? I don't understand.
What do you do? Oh, that's just a nasty monkey that lives here.
Just a little creepy monkey. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's not one of our tools. It's just doing.
We just can't get him to leave. Mm-hmm. He just does that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy, the Jim face is definitely implied because the leopards are centimeters away from him. He is about to be devoured.
Yeah.
So good for him. I'm glad he's getting one last crank.
I'm gonna come.
And this week's number 1 reason to say what a time to be alive.
Folks, this story comes to us from Wet Bigfoots in the Discord. This is a little bit of a seasonal story. It's holiday times. This story is about our favorite holiday movie that we all agreed didn't need to be made, and that we don't really haven't watched more than once, and yet think about quite a bit. The Grinch, the Jim Carrey live action Grinch, which I guess was from 1998. I really thought it was later than that.
Yeah, wow. I would have thought that was like when I was in college. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess it came out in 2000.
Okay, still though. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely did not realize it was that old. Also, Ron Howard directed it. I didn't know that.
I knew that, yeah. Pre 9/11. So
pre 9/11, our last hurrah. But so apparently this movie, the headline is Jim Carrey was given CIA torture training to cope with, quote, horrifying Grinch shoot. And he said his quote was that working on the Grinch was like, quote, being buried alive. Because he had to wear so many prosthetics, and apparently it was just like horrible and like psychologically draining to be put in this honestly very gross looking costume.
Yeah, awful looking.
So awful looking. He looks like the fucking like he I know he's a live action Grinch, but he somehow looks like a live action version of like the Mucinex Snots. Like he's from the same universe as them.
Yeah, it's I think it's a mixture of like, because it's the Grinch is furry, famously. He's like, you know, very fuzzy. But then I guess to like keep Jim Carrey's like facial expressions, which is what you're paying him for partly, they're like, well, he's got to have hair everywhere, but not on his face, and still have a human kind of neck.
Right. He looks like a dog. He has like a dog face.
He has a dog face, and like he's not. Yeah, the Grinch is furry, but the Jim Carrey Grinch is like covered in fine hair. Like it's not fur. It's like the way that those like hairless Mexican dogs have hair. You know what I mean?
Those little Chinese crested dogs.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. He's like part Grinch, part Gollum or something.
Yeah.
It's not good. But yeah, so he had to talk to CIA operatives about how to endure torture. So this is wild. The CIA guy was like, start smoking cigarettes. That's what will help you get through it.
Wow, not good advice.
Which the
CIA guy was basically like, eat a lot and smoke. Those are your outlets.
Yeah, his suggestion was basically cope. He was like, just just have
cope
a breakdown.
Yeah,
just be depressed. Also, apparently he had to use a giant cigarette holder so that he wouldn't catch on fire. So the Grinch was just smoking like a long opera cigarette.
Yeah, the Grinch outfit is very flammable.
Yeah.
And I this is the kind of story that if we had the modern news cycle of like every time somebody plays like a bad guy, the stories are about how they almost went insane.
Yeah.
Like, this
the Grinch is the villain of Christmas, so he has to get in the dark Grinch mindset.
And it's not because at least he's like, I didn't have to get in this mindset. At least like he's like, no, it's because I had to put on all this shit every day.
The
and it
suit
was
fucking awful. Yeah,
but like,
I mean, it's perfect because you're just pissed off, and then you're the Grinch. Like
that's true.
It's natural. It's like
but this this idea, like, it's not because he's like, well, I had to become someone who would want to steal Christmas. And it drove me mad. But instead,
No, it's the I think you should leave. I got too much shit on me.
It is exactly, yeah.
Like he became the Joker for having too much shit on him.
Like Jared Leto playing the Grinch, like would be like stealing shit from people's trailers and stuff or something. I don't know what the equivalent behavior would be.
Yeah. I don't know if it feels recent-ish, but like maybe it isn't. But I think it's like funny that it seems like people are kind of like waking up that if Hollywood decides someone's like an A-list actor, they cannot like them. I feel like that happens with Jared Leto a lot, where they just keep putting in movies and people are like, we don't like him. And they're like, but what if we put him in another movie? And people are like, no, we just don't like this guy. And they like don't seem to accept it because they keep putting him in shit. And it's doing badly. But I don't know.
I feel like when I saw House of Gucci, which was like very bad, people seemed to really love the Jared Leto character, and it made me hate the movie more because I hated him so much. Like, he was the only person having fun, which I think that's why people responded that way, because like everyone else should have been having fun, but they weren't. But the kind of fun he was having was so annoying and not funny to me, and I was mad that people liked it. It really angered me.
Kath was mad as an Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Italian face. He
was it was just Mario. It really was. They could have just gotten Charles Martinet to do the voice. Like, it was really something.
Yeah, get them to be Mario instead of,
It's just it was just like hacky to me. I don't know. I was just like, this isn't doing it for me. It's not entertaining. It just was like, because he was supposed to be all eccentric and stuff, but it was such a contrived form of being eccentric that I was just like, I don't like this. Get it out of here.
Yeah.
Thumbs down.
Did you guys like the Baby Grinch that I sent you in the chat?
I've seen the Baby Grinch. I'm aware. I'll look at it again.
This is a Baby Grinch product.
Is it
a Yaddle situation?
Just click on it. You'll see. It's like a nude. You know what I don't like about this baby Grinch is the skin folds in it. Like, so it's also okay. So it's a little figurine of a baby Grinch. He's like a little Precious Moments guy, and he's like all folded up in the fetal position, like a little baby. And I like the product photos of this have him being held in a Grinch green like glove, which is kind of funny to me. But yeah, I don't like the little illustrated like skin folds, like he's a little naked baby.
Do you like his dirty feet?
I do not. I just assume that was the color of his feet, but I think you're right. I think his feet are dirty.
Like is the baby Grinch ever that small? I mean, that's just an alarming. That's very small. Like that's like
that's like a preemie Grinch.
Right. That's a baby Grinch who's it has to go in an incubator. Yeah.
Is this baby Grinch sending a message to this? Is this baby Grinch to scale? Yeah.
The baby Grinch you sent us also doesn't really look like the baby Grinch in the movie. The baby Grinch in the movie looks like it looks like I know it's like not real, but it looks like somehow it's wearing a fat suit, which is weird because there's nothing inside it that is a thing wearing a suit. But
yeah, well, I don't know. Also credit to this.
It looks like a little green fat bastard baby. That's what it looks like.
How about this one I found on Poshmark? Now it's already been sold. So
oh my god! Oh no, I hate this one.
Oh Jesus,
this one sucks.
This looks more like the Grinch though, but it's scary. Very scary.
The Grinch is pretty scary.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say credit to this Etsy seller who created the small baby Grinch. They're not trying to make any, have any airs about what this is. The item is called Baby Grinch, and there's a description, and it says Baby Grinch. Which Microsoft attempted to translate into a different language, and when I translated it back to its original language, it just says Baby Grinch. So
Baby Grinch.
Yeah.
Well,
this person also apparently sells baby Navi from Avatar. So if you're interested in that.
I also really like that in their ingredients, or materials list.
Ingredients?
Yeah. Their materials list for the Baby Grinch includes both creativity and imagination. The listed materials are polymer clay, creativity, Brillo, acrylic paint, imagination, and hair. So,
in that order.
Yeah.
In that order.
Speaking of, I do want to point out less imagination than creativity. And less imagination than Brillo and acrylic paint. Yeah.
Speaking of, I do want to point out in the Jim Carrey article, so we were talking about how he had to use this big cigarette holder, which I wish there were pictures of that, of him in the Grinch makeup with a giant cigarette holder. But it mentions that the hair on the costume is yak hair. That's what that fine dusting of hairs is.
That they dyed, I guess?
I think so, yeah.
No, it was a green yak.
It was a Grinch green yak. That is a very specific green color to me. The Grinch.
Yeah, it just seems like that's a lot more work than I don't know, manufacturing some kind of fake. Yeah, wow. Okay, interesting.
Which also suggests that it is incredibly hot in there.
Yes.
I mean, I think we have to imagine it's incredibly hot in there.
I think that's part of why the CIA torture consultant needed to come in is probably because it was extremely sweaty and gross in there.
Yeah, but hey. For a movie that didn't need to be made, you got to make some sacrifices.
I mean, when I worked in TV, I hated just having to do my makeup every day. I can't imagine fucking sitting in this prosthetics chair for however long.
Hours and hours, sleep deprived. Yeah, that's probably not super fun.
It seems terrible.
At least this took place in the years before people were looking at phone, because now I can't even imagine. Back then you could just kind of zone out for 4 hours, but now if you can't look at phone, you have to be still for all that time.
You can look at phone while they do it, right?
I feel like it's better now because you can look at phone as opposed to before when you had nothing to look at.
Well, there's probably some period of time where he can't move though, unless they set him up like a rig so he can look at phone without having to hold it.
Yeah, they get...
There's probably periods where he can't look at phone.
They give him baby iPad. They give him a big frog iPad that he can hold.
This is incredibly embarrassing, but it's something this is what made me realize I had to limit TikTok. I know, Patty, you deleted it. My thing now is I only look at TikTok if I'm on public transportation. That's my rule. But I realized I was like looking at phone too much when I went to go get my nails done. And when you get your nails done, you obviously can't hold and touch phone for like part of that process. And the nail lady was like, put down your phone. Like the nail lady had to like tell me like, you have to stop touching your phone. Like you're going to fuck up your nails. You have to stop doing this. And I was like, oh yeah, this is a big problem.
Too much phone.
This is bad. The fact that I can't just sit. Even like I could have like headphones in listening to something and that would be fine. But the fact that I can't stop touching phone for like 20 minutes, bad news.
Yeah.
Here's just to put a button on one last photo I found. Apparently 2 movies that are filming around the same time. There is a photo of in the Grinch uniform. Grinch outfit, Grinch costume, Jim Carrey with Professor Sherman Clump from the. I assume they're filming the Clumps at this point. This is not Nutty Professor. What a world!
Wow. Just 2 very uncomfortable comedians.
Right, they were filming these movies at the same time in hell for both of these actors.
Just also, like, I didn't even realize in the other photos or remember that, like, in addition to this entire, just the final insult when they put on the Grinch thing is that the Grinch has huge colored contacts that look like they cover your whole eyeball. Just
Yeah,
oh,
nothing
God.
about this is enjoyable.
When he puts the you can't look at phone once those hand things go on.
That's true. The Grinch hands make looking at phone impossible.
So it's not clear what it looks like. It's like a full like torso suit. There's no like clear seam of where like their gloves or something. So
right. It's also like in flash photo lighting and not like movie lighting. It's like it makes all the hair kind of translucent, so you really can see like the flesh and where the hair is growing from. Look, his forearm is awful.
It's a bummer. We'll post this photo because it's a good one.
Very like if you like let a toddler roll around on the floor of a barbershop kind of vibe. Just really gross.
Mm-hmm. That's what I mean about it being not fur but hair. Like it's not like fuzzy and cuddly. But hey, he's a villain. He's the Grinch. He's not supposed to be cute, I guess.
He's the damn Grinch.
He's the damn.
He's gonna steal Christmas.
Grinch. Should we do plugs?
Let's do it.
Plugs.
Oh my God.
Pretty close with the timing there.
Yeah.
Not bad.
That sounded like a weird bonus level from like a N64 game about the Grinch.
Every time you punch the Grinch.
Grinch. Yeah.
Grinch. Patreon.com/Grinch. I wonder if that's an actual thing. Patreon.com/WhatATimePod is the best way to support the show. We got tons of bonus episodes, well over 200. We got Fate of the Furious commentary track, Roadhouse commentary track. We got live show video, access to live streams, which are monthly. We've also got live stream archive, including the Death Nut Challenge, Eli's art show. What else do we have? You get free shipping at our merch store, which is whatatimepod.bigcartel.com. I believe you can still put in orders for Christmas. So if you have someone in your life that listens to the podcast, and you want to buy them some merch, that's a good thing to do, in my opinion. Or buy it for somebody who has no idea what it is. That would also be funny.
Buy it for like a white elephant. We'll take your money. If we're a crappy gift, that's fine.
Every day is the weekend when you don't care is a good shirt. That's pretty universal, I feel like, But yeah, maybe don't get them the, I don't know, the Cthulhu one might not be when I work for everybody. Well, that is
by the way, patreon.com/Grinch is a real Patreon page.
For the Grinch? Oh my God, they have to deplatform this man.
Well, unfortunately, it has 0 patrons and is making $0 a month. So, I mean, I guess everyone loves Christmas too much because the Grinch is not. The Grinch is a coder.
Oh, okay.
He's had a Patreon for doing code, and no one pledged. Yeah. So
damn,
it's a guy that's going to hack our like nuclear database at some point, and it'll be like a hacker named the Grinch has shut down the world nuclear. Yeah.
So anyway, patreon.com/whatatimepod, best way to support the show. Listen, look, tell a friend, make someone listen to it. Whatever, do what you got to do. Get the word out. We're closing out the year strong here. If we hit 1,300 patrons, we're going to eat the Papa Bowls. So, get those subs in now so we can eat those things and be upset for your enjoyment. Let's see what else. We're on leave a review on iTunes. That's another way to, or with Apple Podcasts or whatever podcast platform you listen to the show on. That's another way to support the show. And then we're on socials at What a Time Pod on Twitter, What a Time Pod on Instagram. Kath was just talking about getting off TikTok, but I don't know if we're officially launched yet, but we are on TikTok with the podcast. We'll
stay tuned for clips.
Yeah, we'll post about that because I'm not actually sure what the username is because I know we had some weird issues with that.
Hot tip: if you have a podcast and you're making a TikTok for it, don't say it's the age your podcast is because TikTok will think you're a baby and not let you post.
That's just a tip from us to you.
Hot tip.
So all that is that. whatatimepodcast@gmail.com is the email, and I am Patty Moe on the stuff. Let's see. I recently did a bonus episode on the Street Fight show with Murder Brian, talking about we listened to a monologue or watched a monologue from, or whatever, a segment from Gutfeld that was very unpleasant, but that was a fun thing to hang out and do. And then I also did an episode of the First Ballot podcast where I talked about Aaron Boone, the home run 2003. And now that Aaron Judge has re-signed with the Yankees, I don't have to be like angry about talking about people named Aaron and the Yankees, even though I wished Aaron Boone was not the manager of the Yankees. Anyway, thank you. That's it for me.
I also did a Street Fight recently. I think it's going to be out pretty soon. It was, man, Brian loves to watch trash because he watched Gutfeld with you. My Street Fight episode, we watched Dane Cook Torgasm. And it was bleak. Nice. And then after we recorded it, I went into a shame spiral because we were talking about Gary Gulman, and I was talking about being familiar with his comedy, like from seeing him around New York a lot, like because he lives here and performs here a lot. But I was like, oh shit, I made it sound like I know him, and now people are gonna think I'm like a weirdo who acts like I know comedians who are famous who I don't actually know. So that's my disclaimer. I don't know Gary Gulman. I just meant that I know his comedy. Thank you. I've been very.
I know Gary a little bit.
I like basically said that, and then I was like, I don't know him. Why did I say that? And then I was like it was keeping me up at night. I was like really embarrassed about it. Anyway, I do not know him. But it was a fun episode. Torgasm is really bad. I have another podcast called Lie, Cheat, and Steal, which is a true crime podcast about liars, frauds, thieves, and bullshitters with my friend Pat Soroyce, who I do know. And yeah, I'm Kath Barbadoro on everything, and I do stand up in New York. I don't have any dates right now, though, so stay tuned.
You can check out my good friend Dane Cook has a pretty great special out called Vicious Circle. You can check that out, probably on Crackle or something. And that's all that I have going on. Watch Slow Horses. That's a good TV show. I just plug stuff I like now.
It's a good show.
It's a good show.
I like that.
Grinch.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Grinch.
Grinch.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Plugs. Grinch.